Today we're going to talk about money in movies. There's a theme in the media, in our culture, that depicts the hero is the poor guy, the underdog, the one who doesn't have enough, who's struggling, specifically financially. And the bad guy is the rich dude, the one who's had it for generations or built this empire or whatever, and he's the villain. For example, if we look at Spider-Man, the hero is Tobey Maguire. The hero is Peter Parker. Not Tobey Maguire. The hero is Peter Parker, the orphan boy who lives with his aunt, and he barely makes ends meet by being a freelance photographer and is struggling in school and is late to everything, right? And the bad guy is Norman Osborn, the big, rich tycoon who has all the technology and all the finances and resources in the world, who uses his powers for evil. And Peter's the one thing in the world fighting this superpower, right? Or The Devil Wears Prada. Miranda Priestley, right? This rich, old-fashioned tycoon who's obviously wealthy. And then we've got the poor, struggling, up-and-coming Anne Hathaway, who's new to the world and doesn't know what she's doing and has bushy hair and is broke and needs to make money and find her way in her career. We've got these clashing powers, right? And we see her just get oppressed and continue to overcome and fight the bad guy to find meaning or value in her role. We see Aladdin, the street rat, right? Who somehow comes across the princess's path and falls in love with her, and also comes across a genie with a lamp. And the bad guy is the royal vizier, the one in the palace with all the resources and power, who's trying to destroy the world. If we look at Notting Hill, the hero is Hugh Grant. I forget his name, the character's name, but who's just kind of an average guy, right? Who's British and somehow ends up dating a superstar, right? A movie star. And she's unfulfilled and unhappy in her career and with all of the wealth and the fame and the attention, and needs to marry the guy who is poor, who has morals, in order to find meaning and significance in her life. It varies from movie to movie, but the theme is the poor guy is the one who has moral character, and the rich guy is corrupt, and you can't be happy with money. And this theme, this message, I have a huge problem with and just want to blow the whistle and say, hey, this is not true. This narrative is inaccurate and actually harmful for us. I understand the logic behind how they crafted this story the way that they have, and I get that most of us identify with the poor person. Like, yeah, I want more in my life and I don't have enough. And I get that thing gets stroked when we watch that dynamic, but it doesn't actually empower us to change that persona, that identity that we're in. And we want to step into the place where we become powerful and responsible and choose to embrace the invitation to increase and create wealth in our lives. And as long as we are vilifying the person with all the money, we will subconsciously sabotage any invitation for us to ever become that person, the villain with all the money. I'd like to propose, just because you get a lot of money doesn't mean you're going to turn into a bad guy. A lot of the most upstanding, generous, kind-hearted, caring for humanity people I've ever met are very wealthy. Some of the most selfish, short-sighted, powerless people I've met are the ones who are poor, and they're actually the ones who seem more obsessed with money than my rich friends. They're the ones who think about money all the time and blame other things and other people for why things can't happen or why things are wrong with the world. And if they had the money, that whole thing would change. But here's the thing. If they were given a chunk of money, those people would probably lose it and not have much to show for it because the governing system they operate with couldn't sustain that kind of resource. It actually takes a lot of character and integrity and persistence and resilience and courage, if you create the wealth, to create wealth in your life. It doesn't just come naturally. You don't just happen upon it. You have to choose intentionally to be brave and to serve, to amass something like that in your life. It's actually a lot easier to just be broke. I'd like to propose being broke is not heroic, it's the other thing. And so the message we get in movies and in themes like that is depicting that the broke guy is the hero and the corrupt evil guy is the one with all the money. And I'm like, that idea needs to get out of your head. Recognize it in the theater, recognize it when you're watching movies, just pay attention and see that theme, and then bypass it and understand you're going to enjoy the story for what it is, but that it's not a narrative on reality. You do not need to be broke to be a hero, and not all rich people are bad people. In fact, a lot of rich people are actually really cool, kind-hearted, good people. Believe it or not. And whatever gets offended in you when I say that, I'm like, that's the thing that needs to be exposed, and you want to challenge that thing, not wealth. Wealth is here to help you. Wealth is your friend, and you could have it show up in your life if we weren't resisting it. You know what I mean? So, I would also like to challenge you guys, apart from Iron Man and Batman, can you think of some other movies where the hero, I guess Richie Rich might be one, where the hero is the wealthy person and the villain is not the wealthy person? And I'm talking like mainstream, a movie everyone has watched and loved. If you have some examples, please put them below. Most of the movies we're aware of and we're watching have the poor person as the victor, the good guy, the one we're rooting for, and the rich guy being the oppressive power that needs to be overthrown. And that's the thing I'm drawing a red circle around and saying this needs to stop. This is craziness. We've got to get this out of our heads. And remember, guys, when you're watching a movie, you're never alone. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more like it, subscribe to this channel, like this video, comment below, share it with your friends. Let's just mess all of them up and get them all offended about the subject of money, and let's just make a mess.